into thriving businesses. So I'm so excited to welcome today's guest, Dan On, aka Honestly. He runs the largest chair review channel on YouTube. His channel was featured at YouTube's Brandcast 2025 and in various news outlets such as the New York Times Wirecutter. He was a featured speaker at YouTube Shopping's premier event, Holiday House, and he will be speaking at YouTube's Shop Social Summit in July. He is a YouTube Shop Star, meaning he is one of the top earners on YouTube shopping platform. With under 100,000 followers on YouTube, he has earned 7 figures and is passionate about sharing his best tips and mistakes when it comes to monetizing on YouTube. Dan, we are so excited to have you. Thank you so much for joining us. And I'm going to let Dan take over and present his screen.
Thank you so much, Elise. I appreciate it. Thank you all so much for having me. Just a quick introduction for me and my channel and what I do. So my name is Dan On. My channel's name is Honestly. Like Elise said, I review chairs primarily on my channel. It didn't always start that way. The way I came up with the channel name is it's my last name On and the word honestly like slammed together. And I came up with that name because I thought it was kind of clever. And it was clever until you go to networking events and you have to explain your channel every single time to somebody and spell it out when there's loud music going on. And then you realize it's not so clever. It's actually quite annoying, but I still like it. But also because it's one of the core reasons I started the channel and one of my core values even now, which is to keep it honest, right? So I want to be honest about anything that I talk about, anything that I review, hence the channel name Honestly. And so I started my channel back in 2019. And then I started with tech because I love tech. I never saw YouTube as a full-time thing. It was meant to be more of a hobby. And it was a way for me to be able to pay for the tech that I love so much, because tech is expensive, as a way of kind of becoming its own little ecosystem where I could just buy the tech that I wanted with the money I generated from the channel. So basically not having to tap into my regular salary. So that was kind of the reason I started it. And then when the pandemic hit, I happened to know a lot about some certain chairs. I used to buy and resell them as kind of another side hustle back when I was in another, lifetime. And so I decided to make a video about that and how to buy this one particular chair used, because a lot of people were looking for it. And that video went pretty much viral. It got over 1 million views, and it's a chair, right? Like, it's kind of crazy. So it got over 1 million views. And then I got a ton of flood of feedback from people asking me, hey, can you please do more chair reviews? And a bunch of chair companies were reaching out. Do you want to check out our chair? And I slowly started pivoting away from tech into chairs because I also really enjoy chairs as well. And honestly, chairs charity earlier, so I just saw the little message there. But essentially what happened was I decided to go full-time with YouTube in late 2021. And I think the question that gets raised a lot is like, hey, how did you decide to fully, go full-time? How did you decide to finally like kind of move over that way? And for me, it was, I wanted to see 3 months of consistent revenue from YouTube that was more than my salary. I think the reason why I set that bar so high for me was because I needed to make sure that I was never going to be in a situation where I felt like I needed to sell out my core value, like, start to lie or start to hide the truth because I was so desperate for money or desperate to keep the business alive. And so I wanted to make sure that I was never going to be placed in that position. And that's kind of why I set the bar as like 3 months. It has to beat my regular salary. And so that's kind of why I did that. I had to, so I've been doing YouTube full time for 3-4 years now. I've had to figure out a lot on my own. And that's why I'm super passionate about doing things like this, kind of sharing, because I don't think everybody has to kind of start from scratch. I'd like to think that there are people out there who want to share their experiences. And at the time, I didn't really see a ton of people doing things like this. And so hopefully you guys will learn something today. I'm really passionate about this. I'll talk about some of the mistakes I made, kind of. The mistakes will be put into the tips that I have later in the monetization section. And then at the end, kind of like Elise was saying, we'll do a live Q&A. And so just a quick outline or agenda for today. The introduction I already kind of did. I think the first thing that I really want to get into is like, what channel type are you, and understanding that. The next thing we'll talk about is the best monetization tips that I can offer. I think there are tips that I have that I hope will be helpful for you all. I'm going to categorize it into beginner. So these tips are this tip will probably be best for beginners, and then for intermediate if you've been doing YouTube for a bit, and then advanced if you're kind of like really established your channel and you're kind of moving in that direction. Yeah, that'll be the tips for you. And so again, like all of this has helped shape me into the channel that I am. And with under 100,000 subs, I have surpassed over $1 million on YouTube. No courses, no, no consulting, just YouTube, right? So revenue that comes from YouTube and through basically the videos that I make, right? So affiliate marketing is going to be a thing, and I'll explain that as we move along. So, and then at the end, Q&A. So, all right, I'm not great at like following both things. So I'll try my best to manage the chat as well as this. Yeah. All right, so I think the first thing that's really, really important for people to, like, you really got to grasp, not just you, but me as well, because I'm having to remind myself of all the time, is you got to understand which channel type are you. Sorry. And I think generally speaking, there are 3 channel types. They're all going to kind of blend in together, but I think there are 3 general channel types, and you have to understand which one you are, because by doing so, you can figure out which monetization strategy is going to best align with your channel type. And so the first one is, I'm going to call it the sexy channel type. I just thought it'd be like a funny thing. I call it the sexy channel type because essentially it's going to have a very broad, appealing niche, right? So it's going to have a broad appeal to a large audience. Generally, these channels are going to have higher subscriber counts and higher viewership. I joke, I have friends who have huge subscriber bases. Every time I go out to a pizza shop or something, people recognize him and they're always going and saying hi. And meanwhile, I'm like, I do YouTube too. So I'm eating my pizza or something like that. But, that's kind of what we're talking about when we talk about the sexy channel type, right? So examples are going to be like tech. Tech is huge. Ton of people love tech, and tech is such a broad thing. Fashion is another huge one. Beauty is another one, right? These type of niches is what I'm talking about. The sexy channel type, the very broad, the very huge audience, a great number of interests, things like that. So generally speaking, when it comes to monetization strategies for this type of channel, what you're going to see is that the #1 source for this type of channel is going to be sponsorships. I don't know how many of you guys watch videos from like Colin and Samir, where they interview some of the largest YouTubers in the world. I would argue that some of these large YouTubers do work in that large, broad, appealing niche. And you'll see that here the same thing over and over again, that sponsorships becomes the #1 by far source of revenue for them, right? Second is usually going to be ad revenue. And then third is going to be affiliate marketing or their product or merch. Those two might be interchangeable, but by and large, sponsorships is going to be their #1, generating revenue source. The second channel type is what my channel is, right? An affiliate review channel type. And this is, when I say affiliate review channel, generally speaking, you're probably going to have a narrower niche. So it's not going to be as appealing to a huge number of people. So generally speaking, you're going to have fewer subscribers, not as many viewers. And then my joke again, like I've been recognized one time in my entire life, which is at a Costco, right? And so that's my claim to fame, okay? So, and so examples of this might be like, tech is the really, really broad niche, but then someone might niche down into like just being about headphones. Just being about earbuds or audio equipment, or just being about cameras, right? So you're really niching down and becoming like a reviewer / affiliate focused channel, right? So in this type of channel model, the monetization source is primarily probably going to be affiliate marketing, right? And it's going to be followed by ad revenue and sponsorships. Those two might interchange, and then followed by product and merch, right? And then the third type of channel, which I'm not going to go into too much today, it's going to be YouTube as a marketing type channel. Right, this is where YouTube is a marketing arm for a different thing that you have. Might be products that you sell, might be courses that you sell, and then the monetization strategy is obviously going to be #1 is your product that you're selling, followed by ad revenue. Right, and so those are the 3 channel types. And again, this is very broad. I know I'm painting really broad strokes, but the reason why I think this is so important to understand is because I think a lot of people that I've talked to, they want to make money so bad on YouTube that they just like read and watch everything on how to monetize on YouTube. They try every strategy under the sun, or every monetization tip under the sun, without really thinking about strategy, right? And so they do this, they get burnt out, they get discouraged. And so that's why I think you need to take a step back and figure out like which one are you. And let me try to make this more concrete by explaining my channel type. Okay, so story 1 is myself. So as I said before, I am the affiliate / review channel type. And in this kind of like niche, right? I will say that for me, heavily pursuing sponsorships is going to be a waste of time and energy. I'm not saying it's not lucrative. I'm not saying it's not a good source. I'm saying heavily pursuing this is going to be largely a waste of time and energy for me because of what I explained about the type of niche that I'm in, the type of channel that I am. Because I'm a narrower niche, I'm going to have fewer subscribers. Again, I have under 100,000 subs, so not a ton. I'm going to have lower viewership overall. And if you think about what sponsors are looking for, sponsors are generally looking for high viewership, or lower viewership is fine, but the rates that they offer people generally are going to correlate with the amount of views you're getting on your most recent videos, right? And so because of that, if my niche is one that isn't as broad appealing, then these sponsors, whenever they pitch me an offer, whenever they give me a rate, it's laughably small, right? It's a really, really low rate. And because of that, I know that I can go ahead and make my own video with no leash, no terms, no nothing. I can make my own video about the products that I want, about a topic that I know will do well with my audience. And I could make 15 times the money that I would compared to the sponsorship. And so a sponsorship makes no sense for that reason, but it also doesn't make sense for a second reason. And the reason why is because, again, understanding what my channel is, if it's an affiliate view channel, the moment that I bring in this product, right, and I say, hey, look, today we're going to be talking about this product. And by the way, this video is sponsored by the brand, right, this product. People are immediately going to tune out because they're here to listen to like an honest opinion about a product. And as soon as I say it's sponsored, the alarms go up, right? And so I think there's immediately people start to wonder like, oh, Dan is just smiling because he essentially has a contract over his head that has to smile and says, everything is great. This product is wonderful. It's perfect. There's nothing wrong about it, right? There's that suspicion that immediately comes into play. And so because of that, it's not necessarily worth trading my audience and trading my core value necessarily for a sponsorship. Again, I'm not saying this is always going to be the case. There have been moments where all the stars align. I've had sponsorship offers where it's about a product or a brand that I love, and they give me full reign, editorial reign to talk about the pros and the cons of the product, and they offer a healthy rate. And when those three things come together, I'll accept the sponsorship. But if it's anything other than that, then generally speaking, it's not worth my time because, again, it doesn't align with my channel content type. And I could usually end up, sponsorships don't end up being worth the money, so to speak, worth the time trade compared to just making a video of my own accord, the one that I want to make, right? And so I hope that kind of helps understand. Let me tell a second story here really quick. It's a tech channel. I have a friend who's in the tech space. So I would categorize him under the sexy channel type. And, this is the broad appealing, high subscriber count, high viewership. And when I talked to him, he basically said that all of his money comes from sponsorships. He does not earn he's like, I earn almost nothing from affiliate revenue. And this makes a lot of sense because if you think about the type of channel that he's trying to build, is that he's trying to build a channel that is going to talk about really cool products, really cool tech that a lot of people want to tune into, but you can't be an expert. Like one day he's going to talk about headphones. The next day he's going to talk about a robot vacuum. The next day he's going to talk about a lawnmower. The next day he's going to talk about a laptop. You can't be an expert in all of these things. And so when people come to watch you, when people come to like do this thing, they're to your channel, they're coming there to be entertained. They're coming there to learn about really cool tech, not necessarily to buy, right? They're not necessarily looking to purchase all the time. I'm not saying it's impossible, but because of that, that's going to change the way he approaches his channel and his strategic movements for his channel. He can't be making videos on like super niche products, right? Because that's going to have a very small, a very narrow appeal. And because his aim is sponsorships, because that is what he's aiming for, that is where his primary income comes from, he needs to find products and talk about products and make videos that are going to have the widest appeal possible to get the maximum number of views so that when sponsors look at him, they're going to offer him a higher rate. And that way he's able to generate revenue that way. And so that's what I mean by like, you really have to understand which channel type you are. And then this will kind of show like the negative example, right? And so I met this guy. He runs a family channel. I don't feel comfortable saying that it's a sexy channel type because it's a family channel, but I think you guys know what I mean, right? It's a broad, appealing channel, right? He has a ton of subscribers. He gets a pretty solid view count. And as I was talking to him, he was saying, yeah, we want to earn more revenue. And so we've decided to throw in affiliate links and affiliate products into our videos. And while I think that is a perfectly okay idea, there's nothing wrong with that. I also think at the same time that, trying to figure out what products you're going to put in, how you're going to frame them and things like that, doesn't necessarily work. And he said like he wasn't seeing a ton of conversions on those products, because I think in my head, I'm like, if I'm watching your type of channel, I'm there more to be entertained. I'm not really looking to purchase something. That's all the time. Can you make some money? Yes. But I think that time, that energy would be better spent thinking about how do you create better ideas, better videos with higher viewership, bring in that audience every single time so that you can chase after the lucrative sponsorship money compared to the scraps that you might make in selling a couple of coffee machines, right? So affiliate money is probably going to be not as lucrative for him compared to chasing those sponsorships with his type of channel niche. So I hope that kind of, I hope them making that clear. Like, you really want to be strategic about how your channel type generally makes money, and then pursue those hard as opposed to trying everything under the sun. So I hope that sums that up there. And then I'll kind of move into like best monetization tips. This is going to be a fairly short presentation. I'll try to give the best monetization tips, the things that I think I've missed out the most money on, or I've made the most money from. And so best monetization tips, I think this is for the beginner. The very first thing is going to be, you have to, if you can, open up international affiliate programs. That is going to be the #1 way to increase your revenue right off the bat, right? It's going to be an immediate increase. So for me, I didn't know that this existed. I didn't know that, for example, there is a specific chair that I really like, and I didn't know that they were also selling them, in UK, right, in the United Kingdom. I'm in the USA, just for those who don't know, and I didn't know that they were also selling them in the United Kingdom. I didn't know that there was a separate affiliate program in the United Kingdom. As soon as I found out, which took 2.5 years, I immediately applied for it, got accepted, and started seeing conversions immediately. Now, had I done that back in the heyday of the pandemic, I could have made a lot more money. So I missed out on a lot of revenue. And so if there are products that you guys like, products that you guys know are selling well, try to see if there are international affiliate programs open for that. So for example, again, in the tech space, like Razer is a big tech name. Razer has like 15 countries that you can earn revenue from, that they have affiliate links from, but I don't know how many people are taking advantage of all the regions, and they're just looking at their country, right? So for me, it'd be like Razer US, instead of finding ways to incorporate Razer Canada, Razer United Kingdom, Razer Singapore, Razer China, and all those different international programs. The best single source is probably going to be Amazon Affiliate International, right? That is probably going to be the best one. And just to give you guys like numbers here. So this is my Amazon affiliate earnings from last month. I'm not, I don't want to show like price numbers, but I can show percentages. So here are the percentages. You can see that United States is 64%, and the rest of it makes up about 36%. So you can see Canada, UK, Spain, Italy, and all that stuff. I think Amazon does it as well, but there is a program called Genius Link, a service called Genius Link that essentially allows you to create one link that will look at the user's IP address and send them to their nation, send them to their specific Amazon hub to be able to earn affiliate revenue from all the different countries that are eligible. Unfortunately, I'm not from any other this sounds weird. I'm not from any other country, so I don't know what the rules are. For example, if you're in the UK, I don't know what regions you're allowed to earn from. But here in the United States, you're able to earn from all of these other regions, but you do have to sign up for them individually. So that is something to know. And it looks like a lot of people are giving tips about other programs that have international programs that you can earn from. And that, again, is going to be the quickest way to earn additional revenue, just by opening up international affiliate programs. It is Prime Day, and so I feel like this, if you're selling stuff on Amazon and you haven't opened up those other programs, that needs to be your first move as soon as we conclude this call, right? And so that is that. Yes, you do have to sign them up individually for each country. And yeah, sorry, I'm trying my best to like keep up with the chat. I'm not going to be great with that. So best monetization tips when we move to the intermediate, right? So you've been making videos for a little bit now. The best thing you got to do is you got to learn how to negotiate. You got to learn how to negotiate. You got to learn how to position your company and the pluses of your company. I worked in business development. My job was to go after government contracts, to lead a team to go win, multi-million-dollar government contracts. And we always talked about the art of spin, right? You have to learn, and spin can be taken very negatively, right? You're trying to basically hide stuff. I would say spin can be done in such a way where you're highlighting your best attributes, right? You're highlighting the best things about your company, whether it's sales for a specific type of product, sales for that brand, and you're going like, look, sponsor a video, increase my rate, right? That I didn't know this, and I wish I did, because I would have easily doubled my revenue back in when I first started in 2021, 2022. I would have doubled my revenue had I known that you can actually negotiate your commission rates, right? Like if you're an affiliate, a lot of those affiliate hubs may have a contact that you can email, and the response rate is going to be low. But if you can find them there, find them on LinkedIn, find them on Instagram, find them somewhere else, negotiate that commission rate, right? Raise it up. Oftentimes, whatever is published is extremely low, and they can often do like double that, right? And so go and negotiate those rates, get them higher, get them to, raise it. Like I would recommend pitch something even higher, right? Like higher than what you were expecting, so that you can try to fall somewhere in the middle. But again, like you really have to learn how to negotiate, how to position your company, position your channel as being a leader in this place, a leader in this space, and going like, hey, this is why you should work with me. And then also another quick tip is like, if there's a product that you like or a product you plan on making a video about, that is a prime time to negotiate, because you can say, look, I'm about to make this video on your product. I really love it. I think it's amazing. I'm going to talk positively about it, right? And again, I don't lie. So it's like, I've already checked out your product. I love it. Let's talk commission rates. Increase my commission rate for me, because like I said, I'm going to say it's wonderful. I'm going to say it's great because I really do think it's great, and I would love to work with you guys, right? And that's a perfect way to come in and negotiate. And almost all the time, they're always willing to play ball. Almost all the time, they're willing to raise that commission rate up. And so that is going to be the biggest thing. If you're more sponsorship based, I've seen a lot of times people take sponsorships and then they don't have any kind of affiliate link down there as well. And part of me is like, that's a wasted opportunity. You should not only get the sponsorship bag, right? But you should also get money per conversion. So make sure you negotiate that aspect as well, right? A lot of companies may leave that out, but yeah, try to negotiate that conversion rate. Try to negotiate commissions in addition to a flat fee. And again, negotiate that percentage up, right? So get it higher. They're going to be like, they're often going to offer you 1%, 3%, 5%. I guarantee they can go higher, right? And then also in the intermediate is during the holidays, that's when you really negotiate hard.